everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. I'm Ginny, and today I want to talk a little bit about preparing your children for emergencies. So we have packed their bug out bags, we have bought fire ladders for their rooms, we have done all the stuff. But sitting down and talking to our children is really super important. Getting them emotionally prepared for if something happens, whatever the emergency is. I know last week we had a tornado warning, which I thought was really odd. We've never had that before. And honestly, I had never spoken to my kids about what to do if there was a tornado. So when I got that, I didn't think anything was going to happen, and luckily it didn't. But I did go to each one of the kids and make sure that they understood what to do, and when to do it. So we discussed that, and we've talked about it more since then. But those are the things that we really need to think about, is how are we going to prepare our children, because it can be really emotional and difficult for us when emergencies happen. And imagine being a child and not really understanding what is going on and not ever thinking that it could happen. So I think it's a great time to think about what kind of emergencies could come up for your family. And we eat dinner around the kitchen table every night together. That's one thing we always do. And we discuss, all sorts of crazy things. And one of our favorite things to do is play the what if game. And my kids are teenagers now, but we've been doing this for a long time. And we talk about all different sorts of situations. So what if there was a fire? What would we do? Things like that. Those are the type of things that we do. What if the electricity goes down for a long time? What are we going to do? What would be their plan? What do they think about? And then we offer different ideas to talk about this. So if it comes down to it, if the electricity does go out, the grid goes down for a long period of time, they've got this at least level of understanding that there's not going to be TV, there's not going to be tablets, we're not going to be on cell phones, we're not going to have all these electronic stuff that we like to use in our spare time. So, and what kind of things would that entail? Would they have to help out a bit more in the garden? Would they have to help out a bit more doing things around the house? Things like that. We really like to get into this what if game, and we kind of treat it like a game. We're not real serious about it. And sometimes the kids come up with, well, some crazy idea, but it kind of makes it fun. And it gives us an opportunity to discuss what can happen and things like that. So just like all of us, I think it's important for the kids to also practice skills. If you've bought them a fire ladder for their room and they need to throw it out the window and climb down it, maybe that's something you guys could work on together, or at least throw it over the porch, get them comfortable with it, give them a little start to it so they're not so frightened of it. When you have that kind of idea, that seed planted, it really helps you think about how to go through the motions of it. And even if you take your fire ladder and toss it over the porch railing and have them only go a few feet down to start with, it really helps them. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that with teeny babies, but when your children are 5, 6, 10, 15, you want to make sure that they are able to do the things that you expect them to do. You're expecting them to get under their bed, grab that ladder, and throw it over the window so it's attached. Things like that. What could they do once they get outside? Where are they going to go? Practicing this stuff with your kids really helps your kid feel more confident in an emergency as well. I try to keep my kids as involved with gardening. I have them help me weed, I have them help me water, and they don't have to do it every single day. It's not necessarily a chore, but I'm like, hey, come on, let's go do this. Help me do this. And they really they're okay with it. It's not a chore at that point. It's just, you know, it needs to be done. I'm helping mom, and that's good. You know, and they come out and dad will cook on the fire, and they will help dad build the fire. They might help dad cut some wood. Things like that, just helping in different ways. When it's berry season, because we have a huge array of berries here, we have tons of blackberries and raspberries. The kids come out and help me pick. Of course, you know, the youngest one eats more than she puts in the bucket, but that's okay. She is in practice. She knows what berries to look for, which ones are ripe, you know, when to pick them, things like that. It really helps them in those times of emergencies. If she had to go out and forage for food on her own, she could. I would hate to see a 12-year-old out on their own, but if that ever happened, she knows what kind of things to look for. And it's just because we kind of practice this stuff all the time. And in emergency situations, it's great to have them prepared for those emergencies. They understand that this can happen, and I know what to do if it does happen. So I think getting a little plan together and making sure your kids are involved in any of your emergency plans, them knowing where are the bug out bags, where is the fire ladder, how do I throw it out the window, how does it work, different things like that. If something happened, you know, if there was a fire, where do we meet? All of these different things in different emergency plans. I know we're going to be putting together some new emergency plans and change things up a little bit from the way we've been doing it. And it's good to keep them involved in that so they have that under their belt and they understand that things can happen, and it's okay if it does happen. This is what we're going to do about it. It's be proactive and have a plan of what to do, and it really helps the kids, I think, so they're not so stressed out about it when it does happen. So if the power goes out, they may not freak out as much as if they didn't think that it could ever happen. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit today, and because we are always working on preparing ourselves for what ifs and what can happen, being ready for different types of emergencies. But I think it's really important to make sure that the kids are also emotionally ready for this kind of stuff as well. Not to scare the children. You definitely don't want to do that. But like the what if game, we found can, you know, we call it a game, but it's really, we really discuss what we would do if they have some wild idea that, well, I would just walk 100 miles away or whatever. Their, you know, sometimes kids' logic isn't quite on target, but we can talk them through that about what would be the appropriate thing and what everybody else is going to do and how we're going to get together and work through these problems. So taking that time just to talk to your kids about stuff really can help them emotionally, and because I think it can be a lot harder on kids than it is even adults, and adults take things pretty hard sometimes, but having your kid prepared is going to help you as well. And before I go today, I just wanted to shout out a great big thank you to all of you guys. Our channel reached 90,000 subscribers. I cannot believe this. I am just so overjoyed. It just makes my heart so full. And you guys are amazing. I am going to be choosing someone from the comments over the next week to give away some freeze-dried food, and there's no real way to enter. Just comment on videos, and I don't know which video I'm going to pick from. I'm just going to pick someone, and it's going to be a commenter from one of my videos over the next week. So next Friday I will announce that, and I want to give someone some freeze-dried food so they can help build their pantry and be prepared for an emergency. That's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.